Good morning, Wellington. This is Graham Bloxton for Wellington Live and Wellington in Your Pocket. This takes me back to my schooling in Upper Hutt, Trentham School. Here we are. I don't know if I can get up from this. What do we got here? Oh, it's a very modern old school. What's happening here?
Graham, great to have you here. Put your phone away. We're a no-phone school.
I can't interview without my phone.
You're going to have to think of a different way, Graham. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Queen Margret College. Greetings. Oh, I think it's
yes,
this,
it's
isn't
this way, absolutely.
Look, we're here today to celebrate Wellington's women, and Jayne-Ann Young has agreed to have an interview with us, so I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Look, I want to jump into it before we go to the interview. What's happening? What's happening just generally with all this COVID mess?
Yeah. Look, it's challenging, and I said to the staff on the first day back, there is no rule book for this. There is no leadership book that tells us how we operate in a COVID time, either supporting our staff, our students, our families, and also looking after ourselves. And it's pretty hard. But I've got an amazing team, and that's actually, if you know any part of this interview, it's going back to the team. And we've got a dedicated person, our deputy principal ops, Paul Sheris, and he is our point of contact for all things to do with COVID. So he is the fount of all knowledge, and we take it from him. But I think it's providing reassurance and security that learning will go on, and you know, the 2 years we've had of people saying, oh, kids have lost learning, that's not necessarily a COVID related thing. Kids have not got a dream so many times now when they get to the end of school, and one of the biggest messages we can have for kids is don't worry about it. Keep finding your pathway, keep taking opportunities, keep saying yes, and explore. And one of our key values is actually being courageous, and it's having a go at things that you really aren't sure about and that you're not necessarily going to be successful at.
And facing up to it. If say for example I was going to go for a scholarship and I can't now, you would just encourage them to be courageous.
Yeah, I would, and I'd encourage them to find other ways to go for that scholarship. So a scholarship from high school, there's so few of those around the world anyway, unless you are one of the absolute top academics. Now we like to think we've got some really top academics, so have so many schools around, and it's their international competitive scholarship situations. They're still there, and our kids are still getting them in the same rate that they always have in the past, and other schools will say that as well. We've got to get realistic about what the kids can do, and it's one of the things that we really pressed home here is about agency. So kids have to own their learning. The kids take it from their point of as their starting point, and one of the big changes in education now is that teachers have to hand that agency to the kids. We do not know everything. I know that comes as a surprise for people our age, Graham, because you and I, when we were at school, people told us things, we wrote it down, and then we told them what they told us. And that was how we passed exams. It's all changed.
And in terms of advice and leadership for our followers out there, what would you, in a quick summary for leadership, what are your leadership skills and what do you look for?
I look for a balanced team. I've had the best advice from my previous board chair, Andy, and he said to me, you've always got to get people who are smarter than you, Jayne-Ann, and fill your gaps. And I think that's been one of my key things that I've done. I've got a really great team. They come with a whole set of skills that I don't have. Fill your gap. I do not need to know everything. One of the most important roles that I have is to keep my eyes on what's happening out there and the blue sky, but empowering people to do their work inside. So that agency that we're putting down to the students, that agency goes to the teachers. They are professional, trusted, highly trained, valuable, expert people who know what they're doing, and we need to value that.
So when you came in a couple of years ago, there was some staff turnover that we saw as a parent here. What happened there? Did you give a clean brush, or did you have different values or standards? A lot of it happened. Yeah,
a lot of it happens, and I think that any school where there's a principal that comes in that's new, you will often find that. So I came in from a background of pure research base from where I had been working, and research and how we do things now is probably the most important thing for me moving forward. And putting that in front of people, people have to go, oh, I didn't really sign up for this. And if people feel uncomfortable, that's making the right decisions for them. But I'll put it like this. In education, we're just like every other profession. we are constantly finding out new things, particularly around the neuro aspects and how we can deliver and how kids learn. Now, you don't go to a doctor who trained 35 years ago and still using the same practices. Why would you send your kids to a school that is still using the same practices as 35 years ago when the research has changed?
What's your worst moment? This year?
This year?
It must be fairly gnarly in there, in the battleground. Just give us one worst moment and how you recovered.
The worst moment is actually having to be so fluid in where we stand. You can't sit here in concrete and say, in 3 weeks' time we're going to do this. So I'd say one of the hardest decisions that we've had to make is the disappointment of having to cancel or postpone the EOTC again for some kids. And that's a huge part of the life here, and it's about belonging and all the things that the teachers have worked on for so long, and then it's just gone. And it's the right decision. It's the right decision from a health perspective, but that's been tough. Yeah.
Tell me, do you compete with other schools? And if you, I suppose you do, because I see you buying billboards and that sort of thing around town. Good old billboards. If you do compete, what do you compete on?
We've gone digital, so that's the other thing. So I need you to talk to Amanda. She's she is our Director of Engagement and Communications, and our platform is now very much digital. Yeah, look, we want people to understand and know what we do. So do I look at what other schools are doing? I'm sort of casually interested, but it is actually about what we do here and telling our story.
Didn't Scott steal a whole lot of your students? Graham over there?
Graham, I don't think they stole, but people are making choices. If you live over in Seatoon, yeah, there are some choices to make, and we all know what Wellington traffic's like. Dig. But that's something that we have to say, well, if kids are choosing to go somewhere else, what do we do? How do we actually do something and provide a service and a product that is something that parents and students want to have?
Awesome. And if you were to give yourself some inspiration for a 20-something yourself, what would it be?
Oh, just chill. Just chill, Jayne-Ann. It's a long journey. And also take a little bit more time when you get into that leadership pace of bringing people along with you, because I can see things already, and I've got to get people on the journey rather than just going to the end point, and that would be the biggest learning that I've had.
So just take it easy, reflect a bit and chill a bit. If there were words that you would give to a young woman that was thinking of going to a school like QMC, because when my daughter decided to come here, my advice was this was a great school, and I thought about the money, and then I thought about reputational stuff, and we made the decision, and I don't regret it. What is your advice for an aspiring young woman that wants to come here?
Well, thank you very much for that. That's awesome, and your girl's lovely, and she's in year 12 now, and she's journeyed through the school. And I think for all parents, it doesn't matter what school your kid's going to go to, they will have their ups and downs, and wherever they go, the school's there to support them. For kids coming here, we've got your back. And we will look after your needs in the widest sense, and we never give up either. We never give up on our kids, and we never give up on what all the potential is. So for any parents who are looking at an independent school, it's a really viable option. And the best part about us, we've got a dual curriculum. So your daughters have choice here, and we don't say this is better than this. We want the right course for the right kid for what they want out of their education. Back on them.
Well, as you know, Wellington in Your Pocket is an experience engine. We can bundle anything on the web together, a hotel with an event with a restaurant, or a restaurant with a spa clinic for a hen's party. I'm now going to put you under pressure, Jayne-Ann. What would your experience be?
Right. Best part about Wellington, I live in the centre of the city. Everything's walkable, and that's absolutely magnificent. My favourite night out, I would love Ortega, one of my favourite restaurants. One of my children has a big birthday coming up, and they have requested Shepherd's, and so got to make a booking there. Got the wonderful little Italian around the corner here from Queen Margret, Mariluca. That's my go-to during the week. I have loved going to Bats Theatre and seeing performances from my kids here. So some of our students do performances down there, they're open shows, and it has been so wonderful being able to go to the Bats Theatre. Just everything in that little community. Oh, shout out to Corley as well. Corley, and Rebecca's an old girl, little plug there, Rebecca. But that's just one of the best shops in town for clothing, so can't talk past that. Yeah, coffee shops. It's just Wellington does have that little hive of I can't believe actually the culture here for coffee. And remember, I came back from the Middle East where you can't get a decent cup of coffee to save yourself, and coming back to Wellington was just, yeah.
So a stroll down to Ortega or Shepherd's and a show at Bats, and then maybe some shopping. So it sounds like an eclectic, wonderful day and early evening in Wellington. Thank you so much. And more Wilsons. Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. Outstanding. Well, this is Graham Bloxham for Wellington Live and Wellington in Your Pocket, down under the walnut trees with Jayne-Ann Young at Queen Margret College. Welcome in and thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham.
Awesome. Cheers. Yeah.